Question 9, which starts at your page 20, invited you to speak to the amendment to the scope and powers of the divisional head, employee relations, and your role in it. Do you see where I'm reading?
Correct.
Now, you give a response to that specific questions from your paragraph 113 to 118.
Correct.
Can you summarize effectively what your response is to that question?
Firstly, the issue about the amendment to the scope and powers of divisional head, it's about employee relation, it's about cost containment. Cost containment because this particular department had a lot of labor issues to an extent that during the adjustment budget is always allocated to assist them, and that budget seemed not to be enough. And as we speak, some of the attorneys are not yet paid for rendering services to the municipality, mainly because the fees, and there was no structure in terms of the fees in the appointment of these attorneys. Then we suggested that to curtail even the fees because the fees were exorbitant. The DH had powers to appoint any attorney, any law firm to assist him, and they were paid at the rate that he decided upon. Then we centralized that the function to say the legal and corporate do have a panel of attorneys, and they have a specific rate which is affordable to the municipality. And such attorneys should be utilized to assist the labor relations because for us it was an issue of budget. And we have records where they over exceeded their budget. And we have a lot of complaints from lawyers. I remember on top of my head, it's the Mohasho attorneys at some point, they were not paid. I don't know if they are paid now. They were dealing with labor issues. So we had to actually amend this. But there's also internal communication between HOD, HR, and his divisional head, and her divisional head. Then employee relation about the delegations of appointing attorneys and so forth. But my duty was to ensure that we curtail cost because budget was an issue.
Thank you for that. I see at your paragraph 115, you deal with the primary purpose of the amendment, and you say it was to curtail escalating legal costs. And you continue to say the attorneys independently appointed by departmental heads were charging significantly higher fees than those on the city's approved panel, which operated on a standardized regulated rates.
Correct.
So I don't understand what exactly were you amending, because it sounds like the issue was to prohibit the appointment of expensive attorneys and to impose on all departments to make their selection from the city's approved panel. Was that not the solution to the problem? Based on what you say here.
Yeah, the solution was to obviously curtail costs, especially in this particular department. Though the memo went to all the departments that they can't appoint their own legal reps, there's a panel that is appointed at a specific rate which is affordable to the city. That is where I came in.
And that was the extent of the amendment?
Correct, ma'am.
But otherwise, besides directing that appointments be made from the panel, the attorneys panel, you didn't effect any other changes?
Changes in relation to his powers?
Yes.
I don't recall. Can we see his...
Okay, let's see. We will do so with reference to NISA's statement. If you can get your hands on NISA's statement. Not the annexures, just the statement.
Page.
And if you are there, if you go to page 24. And from page 24, paragraph 74, in this statement, Mr. Minister deals with the B2B anonymous email. And just to summarize what his testimony is that these emails were received from this person or this entity that called itself B2B on the 20th of August 2023. And if you look at paragraph 76, he cites, he quotes the email, but my interest is at page 25. My interest is at page 25. The last line of the italicized quotation there, which reads, I am told from reliable sources that Imogen Mashazi, who's the city manager, is the one who's protecting Julius Mkwanazi. Now, they've excised that from the actual Bitli email received. If you look at paragraph 74, Mr. Ngwiza testified that you were copied on this email. And the subject line of the email was favoritism and corruption within the city. So this happens on the 20th of August, 2023. Mr. Ngwiza suggests that on the 21st of August, 2023, you called for a meeting with Inter alia him, and I want to check whether, did you?
The answer is no.
So, at paragraph 79, page 25, when Mr. Ngwiza says, that very morning I received a call from Ms. Kasheka instructing me to drop everything and immediately get to the office of the city manager. Then he had to go there. So that meeting, did that meeting take place?
I don't recall, and I cannot comment on his say. I need proof from him that meeting occurred and where and what time.
Do you recall such meeting occurring in the 365 days of 2023? Not necessarily the date he's giving, in any day of 2023. You make your election of 365 days of 2023. Do you recall having a meeting as described by Mr. Ngwiza in that year?
I don't.
You don't?
Yes.
Completely and utterly. So it was purely coincidental that the Bitli emails come in. In those emails, it is alleged that you specifically, as the city manager, are the one protecting Julius Mkwanazi. The next day, this meeting is called, and according to Mr. Ngwiza, at 82, he arrived in Germiston to your boardroom. You asked if he knew Bitli. He denied knowledge, and you accused him point blank that he had leaked the charge sheet to Bitli, alternatively that he, Mr. Ngwiza, is Bitli. You deny all that?
I do.
So you effect the amendment on the next day, on the 22nd of August. And the effect of that amendment that you've just spoken to, which earlier you said was all about how to appoint attorneys, resulted in stripping Mr. Ngwiza of all his powers regarding appointment of attorneys. How did that come about? And why was it relevant to do so?
Okay, thank you very much. Now you give me an opportunity to address this thing fully. Mr. Ngwiza...
What will not happen, I'm sorry, Dr. Mashazi, I'm not giving you a platform to have a rally. I asked you a specific question. So far, you did not recall. I'm asking you a specific question. Why did, on your own version, if your version is that you were doing so as a cost-cutting measure to ensure that only persons or attorneys listed on the approved panel are appointed, why did it require such an extensive amendment to the point that it stripped Mr. Ngiza of all his powers to appoint? Where is the connection between what you allege at 115 and the effect that it had on Mr. Ngiza?
So you take the connection that I did this to protect Mkhwanazi so that Ngiza doesn't appoint attorneys. Is that your assertion?
I don't have an assertion. I'm telling you what Mr. Ngiza says. You don't recall. I'm telling you what Mr. Ngiza says the effect is. You don't recall. I go to the statement you made to say mine was just a cost-cutting exercise. And I say, I don't understand why that cost-cutting exercise, as you have alleged, could in any manner result in Mr. Ngiza being stripped of his powers. Now you turn around and say, this is a good opportunity to address, and I'm stopping you from any address that you want to make. You can make the address at a different time, but for the moment, I need an answer to my question.
Okay, the answer to your question is Mr. Ngiza had an opportunity for a year to concoct his statement and correlate all the documents that are here, and I was given 2 days to actually respond to all the allegations that they made. That is my answer to that. And I cannot accept that there's correlation between the cost-cutting measures that I am indicating in my statement, and the relationship between the Bixi and Mr. Ngiza's assertion. I do not accept Mr. Ngiza's assertion, and I do not want to comment on it. And I am not accepting that there's correlation of my response or my ability to cut costs in terms of legal fees as a way of protecting any person and as a way of actually curtailing powers of an individual. I reject the assertion.
Did you, Dr. Mashazi, did you substantially curtail Mr. Ngiza's powers?
No, Commissioner.
So he was not telling the truth when he said you did?
That I did curtail the powers. I only addressed the issue of cost, Commissioner, where I was concerned. And if you can look at our financial statement or at our finances or in terms of quarterly reports, always on an annual basis, when we do our adjustment budget, the department, especially labor relations, they request additional amount because they cannot pay lawyers. The costs are very high. And the cost in terms of payment of lawyers that are dealing with labor cases were not affordable to the city. Hence, I suggested and I recommended that all the departments, whether it's a divisional head, whether the division is employee relation or whatever, they should actually use the panel of attorneys that are appointed by council at a rate that is affordable to the city. This is the only power, the so-called power, that I am alleged to have curtailed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Just to close on this, then, at your paragraph 115, page 20, you assert that the primary purpose of the amendment was to curtail escalating legal costs. You don't have to go there, but I want to refer you to a document in Mr. Ngiza's annexures, and it's annexure PN 13, starting at page 311. In fact, please go there. Page 311 of Ngiza's annexures. It's annexure PN 13 for the record. It's a 3-page document, and if you go to page 313, you confirm that's your annexure at the bottom of that page, and it's dated the 22nd August 2023.
Correct, ma'am.
That's your signature, correct?
Mm.
Dr. Mashazi, do you confirm that's your signature?
Yes, it's my signature.
So this document is then the amendment that we've been talking about.
Correct.
Now, at 115, you say the purpose was to curtail escalating legal costs. I want to read a portion for you from that document. And I'm at page 312. At page 312, there are 2 bullet points followed by 2 paragraphs before the numbered paragraphs begin, starting with A1. Do you see where I am?
Yes, I see.
The paragraph immediately above A1 reads as follows. Quote, to usher in expeditious, credible, consistent, and uniform management of discipline within the municipality, the following persons are hereby delegated to perform the above listed functions, as well as all other functions connected therewith as appears from the collective agreement in that regard as the municipal city manager's authorized representatives. And then you list. And Mr. Ngiza contends that it is that part of the delegation, listing A1 to I at page 313 that had the effect of stripping him of all his powers. If one casts a very cursory eye over this document, nowhere does it suggest that its purpose, primary or otherwise, was to curtail escalating legal costs. Why is the issue of costs not part of this amendment or amended delegated powers matrix?
Mr. Ngiza, at his level, as I indicated, that he appointed.
I would like us to confirm. I'm under serious time pressures. I'm so sorry. We still have a question to deal with before lunch. I'm confining myself to your 115, where you say the primary purpose was to curtail escalating legal costs. And I'm putting you to you that is one thing that is missing in this amendment created and drafted by you. And I would like to invite your comment on that. You can cast your eye over it, and if I am wrong, I'll happily accept if you point me to the part where it speaks of curtailing legal costs.
Okay, this delegation, if you are delegated to appoint presiding officers, obviously you'll decide in terms of who you appoint, and secondly, you use your powers to actually decide on the payment fees, payment structure. So Mr. Ngiza used to appoint attorneys, presiding officers, and so forth, and use his own legal structure, legal fee structure, sort of. So the purpose of curtailing these powers, they are mainly related to cost cutting, and for the fact that it is not explicit in the document that the aim was to curtail cost, but the aim was to curtail these powers for a person to decide on who to appoint and to decide on a fee structure, which was problematic for the city. So if the fee structure and the actual appointment are not actually related according to the question asked, and the issue of fees or costs being cut is not explicit in the document, it is unfortunate.
Is it implicit? You say it's not explicit. Is it implicit? And from which wording can it be implied?
I do not have comment on that.
Okay.
I have explained that curtailing these powers, he had powers to appoint attorneys and he had powers to use his own fee structure. And for me as an accounting officer responding to the issues of this nature, I had to do something. That even the appointment of those, remember before you pay anyone or before you decide on a fee structure, you should start by appointing an attorney.
Yes.
And then you decide on a fee structure. Hence, my comment in terms of my statement to say the main aim of changing this was to actually deal with the issue of the budget.
I know that.
Dr. Mashazi, in that page 312, just above A1, number A1, that seems to set out the purpose of these changes that you are introducing. And I'll assist to read it. It says, to usher in expeditious, credible, consistent, and uniform management of discipline within the municipality, the following persons are delegated to perform the above functions, as well as other functions that appears from the collective agreement. And you list who is authorized to do what. So in that paragraph, you clearly set out what is the purpose. There's no indication of budgetary or cost considerations, one. But two, even these people that you are authorizing here, nowhere do you say their powers to determine what to pay is in any way constrained. So, I mean, this doesn't speak to what you're saying at all. Do you accept that?
What I'm saying, ma'am, is that before you could appoint an attorney, obviously you need to go through the processes of appointing an attorney and also look at the fee structure. So you can't just come and say you want to pay this person this amount, or you can't even choose the kind of attorney you want. You need to go through the panel. That's why the function was centralized to the HOD, because she must account to the budget and she must account to the processes.
Yes, I guess what I'm trying to clarify is if the purpose of these changes was to manage the appointment of attorneys from the panel, to make sure they're appointed from the panel, and that a particular fee structure is followed, why didn't you just simply do that and say, Mr. Ngqiza, with effect from day so and so, you will only appoint from the panel and you will appoint in accordance with this approved fee structure? I mean, this seems to be quite a convoluted way to go about it if all you were doing was to manage budgets and the power to stop the power to appoint outside of the panel.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I did not want to go deeper into HR matters. Mr. Ngqiza has a history of appointing one single firm, which is Jack Zibidiela Attorneys. He had that challenge. And the fees were exorbitant in terms of his fee structure. And we advised him that please use the panel of attorneys, even though he was advised by his HOD to use the panel in the corporate and legal department. He used them, but he paid them differently. The fee structure was different, hence the escalation of this legal cost continued to an extent that we failed to actually pay other attorneys in terms of the work that the services that they've rendered to the municipality. So we had to do something from the accounting level to ensure that even in the process there's credibility. And from the top of my head, Mr. Zibidiela never won any case. And at some point he did not even attend the court case where the accounting officer was issued with summons.
Okay, let's not speak about Mr. Zibidiela, who doesn't have a right of reply, but you've answered me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Unless there are questions from commissioners on this question, I'm moving on to the next question, which is my last question. And that is question 13. Dr. Mashazi, it starts at your page.
Sure, I would do honestly.